what do you think the children will remember me for? Needs to be something pithy and catchy, but memorable. Easy for the bards to put in their songs. Deprill the Courageous, Deprill the Steadfast, Deprill the Undeniably and Irresistibly Beautiful.
You turn your head, and Deprill is grinning wide, mischievous, and much too energetic for the late hour and busy day you two have waiting for you. After weeks of hitching rides on delivery carts, fending off minor beasts, and rationing your gold, Iamphis and all the dreams that lay within those city walls is just a half-day's journey away. Your friend had wanted to travel through the night, see the sun rise over the tall spires, but you had talked sense into her, forcing you both to make camp and roll out your sleeping mats. You can see Deprill fidgeting with her dagger in the dying life of the campfire, and you kick her until she puts it away.
Better question. What'll they call you? Resterin the Sensible? The Boring? The big old stick in the mud who's afraid of a little darkness?
Forgoing sign language, useless under the cover of night, you respond by ripping up handfuls of grass and flinging them in her direction. Deprill responds in kind, her laughter hushed but bright as she escalates to sticks and pebbles. Eventually, you both are covered in dirt, but relaxed as you look up at the stars.
Are you scared? What am I talking about? Of course you're scared. This is scary. Gods. It's really exciting too, though, isn't it?
You raise your hand to the sky with a seesaw motion and a shrug. And Deprill chuckles again, before rolling to her side to face you.
Yeah, that's fair. I was always the one talking the big game, telling everyone that we were gonna get out of there and never work in the fields again. Because it's you and me, Darren. Right? It's us against the world, and the world should watch its back, because it doesn't stand a fighting chance.
Deprill holds out a hand towards you, between your mats, and you meet it with a loud high five, the smack startling the nearby birds and bringing a smile to your friend's yawning face.
Look out, evildoers far and wide, for here come Deprill the Swift and Resterin the Loyal.
You close your eyes, enjoying the smell of the crisp night breeze, dozing off to the sound of nearby owls and your friend's steady breathing. When you open your eyes, you hear the sound of horses braying, hooves against packed dirt, and Finide's hushed but stern voice urging you awake.
Wake up, Resterin. We're here.
You stumble out of the wagon you've hitched a ride in, waving a half-hearted thank you to the driver before rubbing the sleeping memories out of your eyes. Finide sends him off with a few coppers and a prayer as Comet ushers you along the side of the road.
Come now, steady on your feet, Resterin. Don't tell me you're one of those kids who passed out as soon as you hopped on a wagon or horse. Well, I hope the little sleep you got was restorative. The temple isn't far from here, right, Finide? Can you find your way there in the dark?
Of course. I studied here most of my youth, more than 100 years. I know this city like the back of my hand.
Then we are in your capable hands. Lead the way.
A hush falls over you as you and your reduced party quietly slip through the night-darkened streets of Baprem. The storefronts are shuttered, closed like the eyes of a slumbering beast, smoke lazily puffing out the chimneys of dark houses like a dragon's slow exhale. It's serene. You'd almost say it's peaceful, if you could begin to even imagine feeling such a thing, after your childhood friend flew high and away, leaving you in the mud. The empty space beside you feels cold. The quiet, usually occupied by her voice, stifling.
I'd say about 20 years, give or take. I like to come back twice a century, check in the rest of my cohort and my mentor, revisit the old stomping grounds, if you will. Hopefully. It is in the nature of a cleric to go where we're needed, where we can do the most good, so some of my friends have probably gone elsewhere. Surely a few man the temple still. Certainly my mentor, Eli. She'll know what to do, or at least pretend she does, until she either figures it out or Helm shows us the way.
You're very confident she can help us.
Of course. Through Helm, who protects and guides us, we can be lent the strength to do what must be done, and there is no better place to call upon him than in his temple. There is a power in putting our faith in both a higher being and each other. That's what it's all about. Teamwork, depending on one another. Trust.
Well, if you trust her, and him, so do I. We also don't have many other choices, true. There is that.
It is a good one. The right one, I'm sure of it. Once we get settled in the daylight, you'll feel right at home. I'll introduce you to the others, to Eli. I must admit, I can't wait to see the look on her face when I tell her what we've been up to. She would sometimes say, "Finny, do you ever get tired of being the golden child of Helm's flock? Make use of our many years and live a little." Well, I'd say we've lived quite enough these past few days. Don't you agree? I, personally, could use a rest.
Finny.
Oh, hush! Behave yourselves, please. We're here.
Finide raises a hand, commanding you to a halt in front of a beautiful, weathered building of regal stone columns and a heavy door of dark, sturdy wood. Above the entrance, carved into the rock, is a closed-fist gauntlet with an eerily bright cerulean eye below the knuckles. With the moon's meager light, the shadows and cracks in the surface resemble a spider web of blood vessels as the eye looks down on you, surveils you. It reminds you of the gauntlet carved above Ledry's door, if the hand meant to threaten instead of beckon.
Yes, its counterpart. Like Ledry said, we're seeking the guidance of not one, but two gods with gauntlet-centric symbolism. The right didn't quite help, so we'll just have to work with what's left. Hey.
A joke, Finide? A pun? Wow. You must really be confident if you're so relaxed.
Well, if you don't agree, you're certainly welcome to stay outside.
The gnome cleric quietly but firmly pushes open the doors. Just enough for you to all quietly shuffle into the cool temple. Immediately you're bathed in soft, warm candlelight and the powerful, intoxicating scent of incense. The air is ever so hazy with it, the smoke drifting lazily to the vaulted ceilings, winding its way around the many marble statues of Helm's heroes. Below the windows, along the walls, the effigies stand watch, heads bowed and weapons at their sides and at the ready. They flank the aisle with the grand figure of Helm standing at its end, 12 feet tall, stern, stone eyes fixed on you and the door behind you.
That's odd. The candles should be out this time of night, especially with no one to mind them, and that is not usually how they're set.
Finide hustles down the aisle, and you and Comet follow close behind, not wanting to be singled out under Helm's watchful gaze. Scattered around you are dozens, maybe hundreds, of lit, tapered candles, some lining the aisle, illuminating your path, but the majority branching out at the base of Helm's statue, like ripples on a glowing, flickering lake. Your cleric has to dance among them with dainty, careful steps. The lights are so densely packed on the stone floor, you'd think it a pretty welcoming sight. if not for the perturbed furrow to her brow.
What's wrong with them? Is it just that they're on the floor? Because that has to be a fire hazard.
No. Well, yes, but not just that. There's an order and routine to how and when and where we do things. Helm values the structure and the discipline. At night, when there's no services or events, when everyone is asleep, we put torches near the windows to ward off the ill-intentioned and invite those in need. During communion, we put candles in one large circle around Helm and step into it almost for privacy. This is a departure, to say the least. Maybe, but even if they had, it's really against custom to leave them unattended like this.
Perhaps it's time to break away from tried, true, and trite customs then,
A warm, deep voice reverberates through the air and smoke, seemingly out of nowhere. You swivel, trying to find the stranger and possible danger. Almost knocking over a candle and tripping if not for Comet steadying you with a hand on your shoulder. He ushers you forward with a slight push and a jerk of the chin, and you all look up towards the grand stone statue of the temple's god, as it looks down on you with glowing, bright eyes.
Helm.
Finide, you've been busy since we last spoke, I see.
It occurs to you that you don't know what to do in the presence of a god, even one throwing its voice out of an earthen mask. Do you kneel? Bow? Curtsy? You look to Comet, who seems equally perplexed, and both of you turn to Finide, who seems to take a deep breath for the first time in days. She relaxes for a moment, the rigid grimace of her mouth uncoiling ever so slightly, before she straightens her spine into a soldier's stance.
Yes, a lot has happened, and we, my party and I, have come to ask for your guidance. Talona, another deity, one of pestilence and disease, threatens us and threatens good, innocent people. We want to know how we might keep them safe and protect them in your name.
So you come home to ask for advice and bring your friends along. How sweet. But your party is smaller than I last saw. Where's the little human, the one with the afflicted hands? You didn't let her fall, slain under your watch, did you, Finide?
Of course not. I've taken my vows to protect and guard seriously, but Deprill made no such promises. She left while we stayed the course and came here.
At this, the sculpture almost seems to frown. The flickering candlelight playing visual tricks and casting shadows along the pockmarked cheeks of Helm's face. You don't see his displeasure so much as hear it in the chiding, condescending tone of Helm's questioning.
Left? With all that corrupting power in her touch and so much at stake, how could you let that happen, Finide?
She insisted, and I could not force her.
Could not, or would not. What, pray tell, did you think you could accomplish here down an adventurer? Did you think you could pray it away? That Daddy in his infinite wisdom and patience would fix it for you? Pitiful.
Finide's head lowers, chin to chest, shoulders slumped in poorly disguised pain. And Comet surges forward, pressing a guiding hand to her back as he glares up.
With all due respect, Your Holiness, I don't think that's how patrons are meant to speak to their loyal acolytes. We've come a long way to ask for your help. Us and your faithful cleric who just wants to serve and do good in your name. Since when do gods answer prayer and reverence with bullying?
Since when did you heroes become so sensitive?
With a cackle, the entity mimicking Helm drops the act. The hideous laughter shakes the temple, the candle flames flickering and blinking before burning brighter and higher. Now you can see the statue's face more clearly. You can see what you thought were shadows upon its surface were actually thin branches of moisture and rot breaking fissures in the stone. What you thought were heroic effigies standing sentry along the wall are grinning and giggling faces you recognize from the swamp, lying in wait on marble perches. What you thought was the penumbra of night on the floor were pools of burgundy blood, dark, viscous, and growing larger around the corpses of Finide's fallen friends. The gruesome sight, combined with that cloying, saccharine aroma haze, makes you want to vomit. Especially when you realize the incense was lit to cover the stench of death.
Talona, I presume. I can't believe even a goddess such as yourself would invade a peer's temple like this. His house.
Yes, well, he wasn't home, so I thought I'd just let myself in, made myself comfortable, and invited some friends. I don't think he minds, do you, Helly?
Of course not, Talona, my friend and obvious superior. What's mine is yours. Please help yourself to my very boring place of worship and frankly useless followers.
For those serving the god of protection, they didn't put up much of a fight, did they?
Hardly, my lady. Though it is hard to fight when you're sleeping in your bed, I suppose.
Miro steps out from behind Helm's statue with a twirl. White cloak and outstretched hands splattered and dripping with gore. She smiles up at the crumbling, infected rock face with triumphant glee, a kitten who's laid a fresh kill at her master's feet. And you hate her. You're afraid, exhausted, filled with a bone-deep dread at being so starkly and utterly surrounded time after time. But above all else, you feel a cold, biting loathing for the woman breezily winding around the candles to meet you.
My friends! Did you miss me?
Indubitably. Come closer, within stabbing range, and Resterin will make that quite clear.
Oh, you lot are fun! I like you. They'd be more fun if your flighty little druid were here with you. Blew the coop, did she?
Yes, days ago. She could be anywhere by now, far from you, your ilk, and whatever plans you needed her for. So, my apologies. Please, feel free to show yourself out. I'd say it's been so lovely to see you, but I don't lie in my god's temple.
Oh, little cleric, dear. My followers have thrown away all your expensive ceremonial oils. Mycelia roots have found their ways into the pews. The blood of your cohorts has seeped into the stone. Everything in here, the candles, the tapestries, the bodies of your dead friends and mentor, you, in due time, will be consumed by me until nothing is left. Then the earth and life will go on. Then new plants and animals, new adventurers made of hopes and dreams and flesh will take your place. And I will claim them as well. This is my temple now.
But not your victory. Not your world without your little ceremonial pawn, right? You need her to enact your plan. Infect the world or whatever you lunatics aim to do. But you can't. You have no idea where Deprill has gone, and you won't find her.
The shadowed horde laughs, a haunting thrum in the air as they inch closer, circle tighter. You push closer to Finide and Comet in response, back to theirs, and hand inching towards your sword as Miro approaches.
That's the thing about blight and rot that none of you can ever wrap your minds around. It is far. It is just. It is patient. All things will come to ashes and dust and dirt in the end. We will all eventually be here with Talona, sooner or later. We don't need to find Deprill. She will come to us in her own time. Especially since we have her best friend.
Miro lays a hand on your shoulder. Gentle, mocking, and disgusting. The cultists wind their way through the pews towards you. Finide and Comet stiffen, their hackles raised, all while Talona's cruel, joyous laughter bellows through a crumbling stone mouth. What do you do, Resterin? You've just listened to episode 8 of Chaos and Consequences. After its live recording, our Twitch audience voted on whether to run, fight, or surrender to Talona. Our listeners chose to fight. How very courageous, or maybe foolish. For what chance does our party have against a goddess? Well, the cast's D20 roll resulted in a 3. But the story does not end there. What followed can only be described as a raging battle of the dice, as the audience contributed no fewer than 23 D4s. Some listeners aided our heroes, others sought to seal their doom. When all was said and done, the party's final total was 16. Let's see what this goddess is made of. Next time on Chaos and Consequences.